Once again, welcome all. Let's move to the next session. Ma'am, shall we start?
Yeah, sure.
Topic Digitalization and Smart Monitoring System for Safety. Welcome, Honey ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Deepa, and hi everyone. Okay, so let's start. So now the topic is digitalization and smart monitoring system for safety. It's some of the, it's just I just introduced in the previous section for some of the topics. So let's more look into the detail. And when we say digitalization, you might have hear this word everywhere like digitalization. We are moving to digitalization. What it means? That means that we are moving from all manual actions to an automated action. So from what you pay like with the money that you used to buy things in the shop, now you're using the card. You don't do a money transaction anymore. You're not doing any manual transaction. Before you used to go to bank and get the money in hand. Now you go to ATM, put your ATM card and get the money. So it's automated. It's system. Anything that we do in today's that we are moving to digitalization. So why not in safety, which is the most critical and important feature? So same, the digitalization is also applied in the safety process in different ways, whether it's a data safety or it's a safety, physical safety, artificial intelligence, or anything. The safety is an important. So when it comes to an IT or in a digital world, we have lots and lots of tools available today for the safety purposes, like in the software tools. We have some smart monitoring solutions provided by all our cloud partners. So we have Google, Amazon, and Microsoft. They are the leading cloud providers in today's world. So they provide a lot of solutions we can use to have this solution in place, have safety process in place. So let's look into the key building blocks of digitalization in safety process. So from starting, like if you look into the data acquisition and IoT, I mentioned in the previous section that what data we give as an input give us the solution. So we have some tools there, like we have sensors. So it sense and give a data for a motion and light detection, that it sense there is a movement, there is a person moving. So there is a movement that gives an input. Based on that input, it reacts. So it's all work with what input you give and then the integration, the communication. So you give an input. Imagine that you insert your debit card in the ATM. So what communication I send it to the bank? So there is a communication channel in between. There is an API. So this communication channel is also important because you give an input, it goes to a specific location and it retrieve data. So there is a process, the secure protocol, and we have to implement a proper solution for the communication. And this is again, it's a software behind. And then the data processing. So let's look into the ATM process itself. The data input, you enter your card, you enter your PIN code, and the communication, it communicates with the bank, and the data processing, it processes your account with the provided information, with the provided details. It reads the chip in the ATM, it verify with your PIN code, and then it process the data process in the real time. So look into the account. Do you have this amount? You ask for, okay, withdraw 1,000 rupees. Do you have that 1,000 rupees in your account? So the data processing happens in behind, and then the visualization. So what you see on your ATM screen, it shows that your transaction is in process. Please wait. That is a visualization for a client. But for the bank, in case if there is an issue, there is an alert by software or the tools with their help, like we can set this alert and detect the problem. And finally, it's automation control. Imagine that if there is a person sitting to see if there is an alert and take an action, instead you automate. You automate with the solution that, okay, if you have this alert, do this. So you can put automation in place, and which helps the mitigation plan, or which provide a solution more quickly, more easy, so that the customer get their output and the business continues. So in all this process, I just gave with an example of ATM process, but this applicable in every action, every industry, every safety measures what we have. So all this process, we can use softwares, we can use different tools. And what applications we have in the IT industry? So the data center and safety. When we say data center, what is data center? Data center is, imagine that you have an institute, you have 100 systems, different places, you enter your input. So where this data goes, like where it's stored, where it keep, that you will have a central location, you will have a central data center. So we say data center in the large industries like Amazon have multiple data centers across the world. Same like Microsoft Azure, they'll have data centers. So all the data they receive from thousands of people across the world, it goes to the data center. And that's where they keep multiple data centers in same zone, so that if one crashes, you still have another. The customers are not getting impacted, and etc. So there are data centers, whether it is small or big, based on your capacity, you have data centers. How we can put the safety to that data center? Because that's where that's a centralized location where all your data is present. If somebody attack that area, the data goes. There are countries like we have data regulations. So some countries have specific rules that the data from this country should stay in the same country. It should not cross the border. So there are country regulations, there are legal regulations where we have to follow. So the safety is important. And some countries you will have all personal information that is against. You are not supposed to ask your personal email ID. You are not supposed to ask your phone number in specific location. You are not supposed to ask your date of birth in some specific places. So there are some countries very strict with your data, and the safety you give to that data is important. Same like that in bank, the data is important. You'll have all financial institutions, you have educational institutions, anything you handle, your data is only yours. It cannot be public. So you have to give a safety to that your data. It's important. So that's a data center safety. And cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is the key topic, which is critical and important. I'll come more detail to cybersecurity in upcoming slide. So let's look into the cloud application reliability. When we say reliable, I explained what is reliability in previous class. So reliable is the solution available. It's high available. Anything we request, we go to YouTube, we request for a video. What if we get an answer that unable to process this video? then you get frustrated, right? But you don't need to get that. You need to get the data. So if you have a reliable solution, you will get the data without having any interruption. So the cloud is a good opportunity and solution for us to have a reliable data, because it's hard for the industries in the small industries and even for the big industries to keep parallel data center, build a big office, or have the system servers in behind and maintain. All this is like high cost. It's a maintenance cost. Instead, people go to cloud. So we purchase some cloud and the reliable solution. You don't need to worry more about how and who maintain this data center. You just purchase and you don't need to worry about the maintenance. It's somebody else doing the maintenance for you and keeping your data safe and secure. And DevOps. What is DevOps? DevOps is development and operations. So it's developing a solution and then managing that solution. Once the solution in place, like once there is a software, imagine that in the institution that you will have your software, your own software. It's developed by somebody. What if they left and nobody looking after? If it crash, it goes. Like all inputs you put, it goes. So somebody has to maintain that operations in your day-to-day activities. Who maintains that? So that's DevOps. It's continuous development and continuous deployment. So all features, you can keep putting your developments and then somebody operates it. So we can implement monitoring solutions there for the DevOps and then workplace safety. Smart access control. When we say smart access control, in most of the places now that you just give your ID card and then it detect to open the door, or that's the protection. How can you access that particular room? How can you access that particular area? How can we implement a smart access control? You just give your ID card with a chip which is inserted there. You tap on it, the door will be open. So that stop tailgating. What is tailgating? You have a group of 4 people, only 2 have access to a specific room. But you were going and the 2 people put the access card, open the door. The remaining 2, if they are entering along with you, that's tailgating. So the 2 who don't have access, they are not supposed to enter to the room. So you are not supposed to allow any tailgating. If you have access, you open the door, only you enter. You don't let anybody else enter when you access your smart card. So avoid tailgating, and that is workplace safety. If you let somebody get into your place where they are not supposed to, what if they do any action? That's not safe. So workplace safety is also an important, and smart access control is one of the best we can use, at least for accessing that room and to avoid unwanted visitors to the room.
ഒരു രണ്ടിന്റെ അടുത്തുള്ള ഒന്ന് എടുത്തോളെ. ചെറുതേതാണുള്ളത്?
We try muting this person. I mute. Okay, now let's look into some of the technologies. There are a lot of technologies. I just put few. If you have heard any of these, that we are using this in today's world for monitoring. Grafana is one of the best tool for monitoring. And security and compliance, Splunk and QRadar. These are the leading tools that we use for the compliance and security. It monitor your solution, your applications, and it gives alert. You can just put or configure that if your URL is not accessible, send an alert. So if there is any issue, you can detect upfront. You can detect immediately when it occurs. You don't need to wait for a customer to come and complain that, oh, you know that your URL is not working. We detect because we get alert. Or if it's a server and behind, we can put a threshold. Okay, if my server capacity reaches to 80%, give me an alert so that I can take mitigation plan. This all helps by Splunk and QRadar. Then we will have cloud native tools like Azure Monitor, AWS CloudWatch. All those are like cloud provider tools. And then IoT. IoT provide a lot of tools in our safety side. And the automation, Ansible and Terraform. These are another few leading software tools we use in this area. We look at so is my slide moving? No. Hold on. What screen do you see my screen? Mhm. Give me another minute. I'm sorry. Okay, so the system don't want to react. That's not moving. Here I should. Okay. Sorry for that. Let's okay, we were here, and then let's look into some of the benefits. Early warning and predictive maintenance. That is one of the best benefit. Early warning so that we can mitigate or give a solution before it occurs. And then reduced downtime. So if you provide a solution that you want that solution to be up every minute. So that's like uptime. And by implementing all these monitoring and safety solutions, we can reduce the downtime and the cost efficiency. Then enhanced cybersecurity. Cybersecurity, as I said, it's important to avoid data attack and all the phishing, spam, and all those stuff. So you get an enhanced cybersecurity and the compliance for sure. Then automated lodging and auditing. So the auditing is an important factor in every industry. So this helps auditing as well. And then what are some challenges? data privacy and security concerns. As I said, the different countries, they have different privacy policy. You have to follow the privacy policy and the government regulations, the institutional regulations when you use any software tool. Because any input you give, any input you publish, any input you present in a report or anything, that you should follow the privacy policy. And then integration complexity with legacy systems. So the legacy systems are the old systems which are exist. So if we use legacy system and we need to move to cloud, there are some complexity to move your exact solution to a cloud. And false positive and negative alert. If you set some alert, what if we get an alert and that issue didn't happen in real? So you can get a false alerts. Two, and the skill requirements and governance. So you need to have somebody in place to manage your application, your software. Those are some of the challenges you have if you are using the software tools for your safety management. And here are some examples like predictive server calling in data centers. So as I said, the data centers are the centralized location where your data is stored. So you have all the devices there, servers there. What if the temperature goes high? There can be any damage. So it detects the server calling and then take predictive actions. It also called in the data. If we have like all servers reaching the highest to the maximum, then your system crash. So there should be a threshold set, an alert should be raised. Okay, your system is in maximum. You have to reduce. So those kind of alerts can be triggered. And then how do we implement this? Like assess the current safety risk. So we assess any solution, any industry, we assess the risk. So we have seen two methods. How do we assess the risk in previous section? Now we see like, okay, we assess the risk, select the technology, like how can we tackle this risk? How can we do the mitigation? Which technology stack can be used? And then pilot critical system. So the critical system, you have a pilot solution, you have a similar solution to identify, to understand the issues. And then automate alerting and response. So you get alert before the action, and then you can take quick response. Then scale and integrate with ITSM. So ITSM is tool again, that management of your IT solution, and then continuous improvement. So IT is never like one-time solution. It's always growing. It's continuous improvement. And now let's look into a little more detail the cybersecurity part, which is important for everybody's life, whether it's an institution or in industry or everywhere. Cybersecurity it's important. What is cybersecurity? Why we call cybersecurity is very important, and how it works. Like who can be the expert? We can see some details. So cybersecurity is the technology and process that is designed to protect networks and devices from attack, damage, and unauthorized access. So at least some of you might have received a spam call, or most of you might have received a spam call that we are calling from the bank and please share the OTP, etc., etc. So this kind of messages we are hearing always from the bank, that we don't call you for OTP, we don't ask your any details of phone, please don't share, etc. Because that is one of the spreaded threat and spam going on in today's world. Because if they get that OTP, they can do any transaction with your account. So they know that there is a loophole and they try to get, or they'll send you an email with an offer. They say that, okay, there is an offer going on. Please click the below link to get that offer. Or there is a gift on your name. or you won a lucky draw, or anything and everything. They attract you. So there are different cases they can reach out to you. Either they attract you with the gifts, with the money, etc., or they make you worried. You say that, oh, you know that if you don't do this, then that's all your money will be withdrawn, or your account will be locked, or some serious action. There will be police case, anything that they worry you. So they trigger you with fear or with wishes. So, and then forcing you to click on some links. So when you click on that link, what happens? It gives that hacker or that spammer to access your phone or your system. Then they can do anything on your system. You may not realize what they are doing, or they slowly implement or install one software in your phone or system or in your solution, and then it gets the data. It leaks the data. So this can cause potential damages in industries. So that's why cybersecurity is very, very important. It protects your business and increase the productivity, then inspires customer confidence. So if you have a good, secure bank, you get more confident towards that bank, that solution, that their system is more robust. We get the confidence. The more customers attracts that side. So that is, it inspires the customer confidence and then stops your website from crashing. How we get some attacks like DDoS, denial of service. So when we say that DDoS attack, we might have heard somewhere. And you might have seen in the news that, oh, because of this attack, the solution is it's compromised and etc. When we say all these attacks, what it is, a spammer or a hacker send a lot of data or request to your system, and then it attacks your data behind or the server behind. It will reach to the maximum and a capacity where your server cannot load that. Then it crash. So your service is stopped there. Then they get access to our system and then they leak the data. So if we have a proper security in place, that we can avoid crashing, and then protection of your customer and clients, because the data leaking is more legal in many of the places. If you have a customer data with you, that it's your responsibility to save that, keep it safe. If anything got leaked, the customer can sue you, your company. Same like you. So it's like your bank account. You give the details to your bank. Your bank is responsible to hold and keep your data safe. What if your bank share all the account number and the debit PIN code, the ATM PIN code with everybody? There is no security. So it's their responsibility in that. And then we say cyber security. What is cyber crime? It's like any other crime in today's world. Cyber crime is critical too, because those crimes are mostly on your network, on your system, or your solution software. It's it happens there. It attacks your data, your money, your transaction, and anything can perform in the digitally. It attacks there. So those kind of attacks and the criminal actions are called cybercrime. And our safety, when we are talking about safety, our safety is more rely on like how can we have a better safety on our data, on our system solutions. What can we implement? And to secure a computer, there are different ways. Like first, it's multi-authentication. So it's like two-way authentication. It's not just enter your credential. You enter your username and password. Anybody can detect if our password is weak. That most of the time that we see like very weak passwords. And in the report says the password one, it says password one is the most used password, or 1 to 3. We just put weak password because it's easy to remember. But if we use weak password, it's easy to detect. And we implement two-way authentication. So the two-way authentication is you get an OTP to your mobile or your another device. So it confirms that it's you that who is accessing. And second option or second method or way is like secure passwords. Have a complex password and secure it. Then regular updates. So keep updating your system, and then antivirus. Put a protection that it detects your virus. So if any hackers wanted to put or implement some virus to your system, that antivirus detects it. This is not something the usual request. This is a foreign element, foreign request that I can stop there. So all virus stop by antivirus, and then firewall. So we can implement firewall rules. I'll explain a bit more about firewall in upcoming slide. And then no phishing, that the phishing that we get an email or alert and then we click on it, we fall into something. So no phishing, that we don't click any unwanted links. Then the cryptography, you encrypt. You don't send any data like just like that. You encrypt and send it. Then securing DNS, that's your domain. You secure your domain to have a proper communication between who you wants to connect and receive the request who you want to receive. And then the domains, looking into the time, I'm not going more detailing, but this is some of the tools. Firewall vulnerability scanners, and then CM, then we have intrusion detection, we have EDR, endpoint detection. So there are a lot of tools available in cybersecurity. I'll just explain about firewall a bit more. Firewall. What is firewall? Most of you know already, but I'll just give a little intro about firewall. So it's about keeping our network protected or our system protected from the internet, because you can get anything from internet, but you decide what to accept, what should come inside. And in simple words, here I show an example. This is our house. We put like walls around. Why? Because it's a safety. Same like that. You put a safety walls across your system. That's called firewall. And how we implement that? It's like what kind of traffic you allow them, who you allow to get into your system. For example, you have an office or you have an institution, you have an industry. There will be a gate. Not everybody or anybody can enter. There will be security. It stop you, look for you, who you are you authorized to enter in this premises? Then allow you, open the door for you. So this is our real life. Same like that. Same concept happens in our IT industry too. So it's the system that there will be a wall. And then you put some rules there, like a security stance here. You put rules. You say that I allow requests from these. I don't allow any other request. Or block all requests coming from X place. Or block everything comes from this IP. Or block everything which is not allowed in this area. So this firewall, it looks for all the requests from internet. You get all requests, it verify, validate, and here you see there are two, and only one is acceptable. It's allowed as per the rule. So this is how we configure the rules and allow them to get into, so that you can avoid all unwanted requests here and stop all the spam and phishing and the attacks. And how do we achieve that? the source address and the destination address and the information. So the source address is like from where the data coming, and the destination address is like where it goes and what kind of information. So when we send a data, it says the packet information. A single network packet will have this information. Based on that, the firewall verify. Okay, is the IP address correct? Is the protocols correct? Is the port number correct? Then allow. If no, then stop. So I would like to stop my session in 11 because it's morning for me and I have to go for work. Sorry. So let me go to conclusion. Cybersecurity. It's an ongoing and dynamic process. So cybersecurity is never a one-time solution. Okay, we implement a solution, so we are safe. No, it never. It's like it's a one time. It's ongoing. You have to keep upgrading your solution. You have to keep looking for your solution implementer, and all the requests coming, you have to verify how many requests came to your firewall role, how many you blocked, from which area you get a lot of requests, what how you can improve your roles, how can you better solutions. So you have to keep looking into that. You have to upgrade your firewall, you have to upgrade your antivirus. All this you have to do, keep continue doing it. But that helps a robust solution, as I said, a high available solution. And the future of cybersecurity will be defined and integrate robust security practices. So we have to see, like, every day the security practices are changing. Today, you put a solution. The hackers are trying to find how can I break that rule. And the spammers are looking for a loophole. So once they find a loophole, we have to upgrade our system. It keeps going on. It is necessary. As we are moving to digitalization, as bank calls you and say that, oh, we never call you and ask for your OTP, don't share your OTP with everybody. Okay, now they implement a solution, face recognition, that if you have a bank app in your mobile, you can implement face recognition. In most of the phones, it's available. And the phones, any phone you buy, at a point of time, they ask, like, upgrade your phone. Why? Because there are critical points where hackers can get into your data, your phone. They can attack you. Because today in your phone, you'll have a lot of information. You'll have contact points, you'll have your bank application, you'll have your educational application, you'll have anything related to your day-to-day life. Anything can get leaked. So your system slowly move to or prone to the attacks. That's where your phone companies ask you, upgrade your phone. Same like upgrade your laptop, upgrade your system. So you have to keep implementing your cybersecurity options and implement the solutions to be more vigilant and stop the attacks. Then protecting our digital future requires a global effort. So it's a collaboration of everybody. It's not just like one person, okay, I am secure, so everything is safe. No, because we are communicated. Our data is communicated. Our data center is somewhere. So it's a collaboration work. And if everybody looking into the to secure work, we can achieve in better security. So when I say safety, in the last section, I spoke more about the industries, but safety is more important in the digital world, because anything can happen. Anybody can track your information. Any damage can happen to you and your data, your money, anything. Even like social media, we have to be very, very careful what we put it into the social media. It's dangerous too. It's like it's an entertainment one, same like it's a dangerous one too. So be careful what you put it and how you handle the same. And handle your situation and your system. So here I conclude. If you have any questions, more welcome. We can wind up quickly.
Dear participants, if you have any queries, you can ask now.
If you don't have a question, thanks for listening to me for first and second session, and thanks for your presence. Hope you understand or you gathered some information today from this session. It will be helpful in your career, in your life, somewhere. And then I wish you all the best. But I'll still stay 2 more minutes if you have any question. Thank you, Joyce. So thank you, and thanks for sharing this or providing me this opportunity. And good night for everyone.
Thank you, ma'am, for your informative session. Good night, ma'am.